Hi everyone, this is Becca. Welcome back to my channel. Today is, let me see here, today is Wednesday, August 21st, and I wanted to go ahead and do a reading today. Let's see if we can do a grand tableau for Ivanka Trump. I got a microphone, so I hope that the volume is working okay. There's a little bit of feedback there. Can you please let me know down in the comments section below? I know that I've gotten some comments that people are having difficulty hearing my videos. So please let me know. This is the first time I'm setting up like this. I have my iPad as my monitor. I'm filming on, oh, I'm sorry. I have my MacBook as my monitor. My iPad is where I film, and I have a microphone hooked up over here. So please let me know if this is working okay, because this is my first time with this setup. So let's see if we can do a grand tableau for Ivanka Trump. Let's see if we can go out from today, August 21st, until the end of October. That would be October 31st. 2019. So give me a moment and let's see if we get anything. Hopefully she doesn't end up on the end or on the line of fate, because then we won't be able to see. So let's dive in. All right. First card that opens up the read here is the Fish. So there's news about money coming in, financial opportunity, but it's burdened from what's coming in overseas. There's Donald Trump Jr., the dog. Hoping I can fit all this into frame. Okay, we're looking pretty good here. Let me move these up a little bit. Okay. Whoosh. There's Kushner for the man. Move this out of the way. We got the ship there. I'm using a tablecloth because, oh, there she is, right in the middle, perfect. My other cloth that I was using was getting kind of raggedy, so I'm deciding to retire it for now because I really don't want it to get messed up. Let's see here. There's her father. The key, the crossroads, the heart, the ring, the tower here, And then on the bottom, we have the snake, the anchor, the storks, and the tree. Let me see if I can move this up just a smidgen. Maybe you guys will be able to see it a little bit better, because I know the bottom from my monitor, it's showing that it's getting cut off here. I'll tell you guys what, man, it took me like 3 hours to figure out how to get this set up. I'm not very tech savvy, and it took me forever yesterday trying to figure out how to upload from my new laptop to YouTube, and I finally got frustrated because it was hours, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to do it on my iPad. So hopefully I won't experience that much trouble with it today. So we can go get this up for you guys as quickly as possible. Okay. Alrighty, so I hope that that's fairly good in frame for you guys. So what I do is, these are all falling into houses. So what I do is I make myself, usually I use like a Word document, but as you can see here, I built this little table here. This has all the houses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transpose what cards landed where, so that I can see very clearly what's mirroring, if anything, it's in its own house. And we'll take a look here. So on the next row, we have this row going down. We have the sun, the letter, the book, and the whip. And then on this row, we have the cross. We have the mice, the stars, the house, and the snake in the house of key. Then we have the dog, the bouquet, the woman, the key, and the anchor. Oh boy. We have the rider, the lilies, the fox, the crossroads, and then we have the storks. And then we have the moon, the man, which is Jared Kushner, the clouds, the heart, and the tree. And then we have the birds, the garden, coffin, ring. Then we have the scythe, the ship, mountain, and tower. Let me take a look at this and see if anything is in its own house. I don't think any of these are mirroring each other, so I think we can go ahead and move forward with this reading. So let's see here. So it's looking like she is landing right in the middle of the tableau here. So we can see what's behind her, and then we can see what's coming in for her. This is the future from today, August 21st, until October 31st. So, so we can see here, there's something going on with her brother and the family that they've been discussing receiving gifts but they've lied about it. And she is involved with some sort of an organization that has to do with her father. And I'm wondering if that's the inauguration committee, because the gifts were coming in and they were fraudulent. And it goes back to Jared Kushner. So that it looks like her brother, Jared Kushner, were all involved in receiving gifts from an organization, perhaps a charity, and also perhaps the inauguration committee. There's something really important going on here with Kushner, because the key lands back in the house of man, and the anchor is right below here. So this line here in the house of fish. So there's news coming in for her in her present line that has to do with some sort of agreement within the family to receive gifts that were coming in that they lied about. And it involves her, Kushner, and her brother. And it's to secure money, secure business, with the fish opening up the reading here. We can see if we start reading down this line that there's news coming in about money, and new gifts, or perhaps small gifts, small happiness. There is an opportunity for an upgrade and a change for her father to secure a contract. So this could be talking, even though the crossroads is way over here, which would be our perhaps our election, because the crossroads is the where you go to make a choice, where you go to make a decision. So that could be talking about the election, but it's looking like her, Kushner, and Junior are working together to receive gifts for their father here. In the second row here, we're seeing really good success, but then there is some sort of a letter or a document that is dangerous. This perhaps could be the impeachment paperwork, or the impeachment, or perhaps the Mueller report. The letter is in the house of Scythe. So this is a dangerous document. So perhaps this could be subpoenas, the Mueller report, or actually articles of impeachment to remove her father from office. And then we're seeing that Junior is keeping a secret. The book lands in the house of dogs. So that's Junior keeping a secret, and it has to do with sex, because the whip lands in the house of book. It can be sex, or it can be some sort of abuse, or some sort of laundering, even though the fish is nowhere near here and it doesn't knight the fish. So it's more than likely to do with sex and abuse. Down this third column here, we're seeing that there's some sort of a burden going on, or guilt going on overseas, that has to do with something that's chronic. It's like chronic corruption, chronic thievery, chronic criminality. But there's success here within an institution with the stars landing in the house of Tower. So that could be the rampant criminality and corruption that's going on, that is shining or being televised in the media about what's going on in the government, or with her father's administration. And then below it, we're seeing that there's a document here that is with the family, and that document is to separate her father from office here, because the book goes back to the letter, and the letter goes back to the scythe. So that's perhaps speaking about articles of impeachment to remove her father. And then we can see here that there's a very important lie that goes back to Jared Kushner, or perhaps this could be that Jared Kushner is betraying, let me see here, that Jared Kushner could possibly be betraying her, and because the snake knights back to her, and it knights here to the book. So Jared Kushner is betraying them one way or another, and then we'll follow his line of influence here. We can see that he's communicated some lies. The birds lands in the house of snake, so that's malicious gossip, or using your voice to speak, but speak falsely, to lie. He's being investigated because the dog, or I'm sorry, the man lands in the house of Fox, and then he's followed by the fox here. He's being investigated for something really important. This perhaps could have to do with secrets, because the key knights over here to the book, and it knights over here to the clouds. That could be talking about his access to secret information, how he got that access because he lied about it. So we may not be seeing it right now, and because he's way over here, that may come between now and October, to where they start investigating Jared Kushner for his security clearance, how he has access here to secret information that has to do perhaps with technology, and how he's using that secret information perhaps for self-enrichment here, because the fish is the card that opened up the reading. Down here, down this column, we are seeing, let's see here, there's news coming in about somebody's health and their well-being. The writer lands in the house of Tree. We're seeing that there's an older child, or a peaceful child here. That doesn't make any sense to me right now. And an investigation that has been delayed, because the fox lands in the house of Mountain. So that could be the investigations into obstruction, and perhaps the older children here, and the choices that she has made, and who made the decision to upgrade her and secure her position within the administration, and how she's using it to enrich herself here. Down Jared Kushner's line, we are seeing career confusion for Jared Kushner, and he will be investigated for it. There's the clouds lands in the house of Crossroads, so that's looking like multiple confusion. That could also be a lot of gaslighting, or decisions that have been made, or choices that are very, very, very troublesome. But then it clears up here with the heart in the house of Lilies. The heart in the house of Lilies. And it knights here as well. I'm going to have to come back to that, because I can't make sense of that right now. And then we're having the tree here in the house of Cross. So it's looking like someone's health and well-being is going to be burdened. And it looks like that burden's coming in for Donald Trump Jr. And it's also coming in from something that has to do with a foreign venture. On this last column here, we're seeing a sudden ending. There's a sudden ending and a venture overseas, quite possibly a retirement for, but there's been a delay to an affair, or a delay, or perhaps this could be talking about how her and Kushner are not very close. And we're seeing her career here in government. So that's just a brief thing. Right here, she's here, Kushner is there. Everything in between here is their relationship right now, and it doesn't look good. She's quite suspicious of him. You know, this could be saying that he's a pretty boy, well-dressed, well-manicured, you know, whatever. But she's quite suspicious, and distant and remote, and she's not understanding his choices, or she's not perhaps clear if there may be a separation in this affair, and perhaps separating from him. Because if we go down this line, here's a separation. The crossroads is somewhere where you go to make a choice. So it could be quite possibly an election, or it's a decision that needs to be made, or multiples, but ultimately it separates. So perhaps she's thinking about some sort of separation from her husband. Even though they're close, she's got really bad cards in this little box right here for her and him. And then we can see here the crossroads lands right before the heart and the ring. So there's some sort of a rift in that marriage, and it's perhaps coming through her career in government and his career in government, because there's going to be betrayals that will be exposed from what's his name, Kushner. Like I said, when we go down this line, he's lied. He's lied, and it looks like he's lied about, let me see, $33. He's lied. Let's see. He's lied about a secret to her. The secret has to do about, so he's lied to her about something that Junior did, because the snake is in the house of key. The key goes back to him. So if we knight it this way, this is a secret about Junior here. That has to do with a document. So maybe that's talking about the impeachment, because her relationship with her brother here looks fairly good. So this is her line. This is her present. This is her past. This is what she's moving into. Everything above her is what is on her mind. Everything below her is what she has control over. So it looks like she's really got all this stuff up here on her mind. Her husband, primarily her brother, because he's the one most directly close to her in her own line. And it's looking like here, she's going to separate the White House. Because here is the house. Her father's here, the bear. I'm hoping that you guys can see that okay. I think next time I'm going to use a different one, because this one's kind of like folded up and wonky, and the cards are popping up. So here's her father. Here's her father in the White House. The tower is quite far from him, but the house is still really, really close. So it looks like once the articles of impeachment come in and the investigations ramp up, the first person that they're going to look at is her and Kushner, and how they got their clearances right here, the access to secrets, and the perhaps the application that had to be filed for their security clearances. And it looks like that may get revoked because the letter lands in the House of Scythe. That's a quick, sudden ending. It's like they cut her off from it once the investigation starts and she leaves. If this is the administration, the White House, Kushner's clearance, here's the separation. And there's also problems in the marriage here. I mean, it looks like they stick it out and put on the show that everything is fine and happy, but it doesn't appear to be once you get below the surface. If we follow her line this way, it's not good. It's not good. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4 negative cards right behind her. This could be, the fox could be talking about her 9-to-5 job, even though we all think that she doesn't really have a job. She just, I don't know, whatever. This could be talking about her 9-to-5 job that is going to prove to be a lot of trouble, and it may end. And there may be some sort of, she just might go away. And if we follow Kushner's line here too, here's the career card. The moon is your career, your reputation, how other people see you. And he's right below it, and then he's heading into trouble. So he's heading into career trouble, and it looks like he's going to have to leave as well. There's something going on here with the public and and Trump. And here's a successful venture overseas, which brings me back in my brain to the original grand tableau that I had done for Donald Trump. And the column for October, which was right here, it showed 2 people leaving, and the child was in the house at the crossroads. So I'm wondering, and once we get to September, it's when the investigations start. October, somebody leaves, and then there's something weird going on with William Barr in November, and then something really weird going on with a woman, and I'm not sure if it's just Lane Maxwell or who it is, that happens in December. But in that original tableau, it showed 2 people leaving and 2 children. So I'm wondering if the 2 people that leave once the investigation starts, it's her and Kushner. Because if we go down this line, there's his career in trouble, and here her job is in trouble, and it ends. If this is the Fox is her job, it ends. There's an ending to it. I'm going to see if you guys can see this. I'm going to ask the pendulum real quick. So let me see. Hopefully you guys can see that. Hold on. I like it to be very, very still. Okay. Am I a woman? Okay, you guys see that? That's back and forth, back and forth. That's a yes, okay? Let me ask it this, just so you guys can see. Show me yes. Show me yes. Can you guys see that? It's back and forth. Back and forth, okay? Hold on. I'm trying to do this to where I don't mess up my cards. Show me no. Can you guys see that? It's a circle. Show me no. See that? It's a big circle. Okay. Let's see here. Am I standing up? Am I standing up? Am I standing up? Okay, you see that? That's a circle. No. Okay. Am I sitting down? Am I sitting down? Am I sitting down? Okay, you see that? That's back and forth. That's a yes. Okay. Let's see here. Does Ivanka Trump resign in October 2019? Does Ivanka Trump resign October 2019? See that? Back and forth, back and forth. Does Ivanka Trump resign October 2019? That's a yes, okay? Does Jared Kushner resign October 2019? Does Jared Kushner resign in October 2019? You guys see that? Back and forth, that's a yes. Okay, thank you. So it looks like, and I'm going back in my brain, once we get to September and they start investigating, the kids take off. There's a possibility that they take off in October to avoid investigations, and how they both got clearances, how they are accessing secret information, his access to secret information, and how he lied down this line of influence, how he lied on the application. Also, it looks like they revoke hers as well. Let's see here. Let's look at her little square here to see what's going on. We have the mice in the house of whip. We have the stars in the house of tower, and then we have the house in the house of letter. We have the bouquet in the house of birds. The woman in the house of garden, and the key in the house of man, which is Jared Kushner. We're seeing the lilies in the house of child, the fox in the house of mountain, and the crossroads in the house of woman. So if we go in this little square here, her little box of 9, we can see that there is some rampant criminality regarding some sort. This could be success in the government. It could be an institution that has to do with media. It can be an institution that has to do with technology. The stars nights here, and it's right in line with the key. So I'm wondering if this is talking about the licenses that she received for the voting machines. Because this is technology, the internet. It's also your hopes, success, and guidance. But, you know, just because it nights here and it's in the house of the tower, perhaps it's talking about the licensing that she got for the voting machines. We're seeing also that there's something in the family that's documented, and it goes back to that's interesting. So the message of separation, that could be the articles of impeachment that end the criminality and the chronic abuse here, and she's quite worried about it. We're seeing some negotiations, happy conversations with Jared Kushner here. Interesting. And we're also seeing the older child, a delayed job or a delayed investigation, or trying to weasel out and obstruct from a separation that's coming in for her here. Like once it starts, she weasels out of it with the crossroads here. Once they discover the chronic corruption that her and Kushner have been involved in down this little line here in her square. There's something here really weird going on with an older child. I don't know if her and Kushner have children. And an article to remove them, or a dangerous document of separation, like a sudden decision to separate. Perhaps this could just be, if it's not only speaking about the articles of impeachment, this could also be talking about a resignation letter. Once the investigations ramp up as her and Kushner's way of weaseling out, getting out of trouble. Let's see here. She nights here and she nights there. She nights over here to the articles of impeachment, or perhaps the letter, like a resignation, because there's been a secret that this guy's been keeping. So I'm wondering, it's like they're going to turn up the heat on these people. This top line across this way, this is talking about they were looking for they were expecting news, or the news that's coming in has to do with money and businesses that's overseas that's being burdened, and there's news coming in about Donald Trump Jr. here. So the news that she's getting has to do with perhaps Junior's financing or seeking out financial opportunities or business opportunities overseas, and it's finds him guilty, or they find him guilty, and that's the news that's coming in. There's a lot of trouble and a lot of confusion around career, and they've lied, so they're just going to cut it and run, because the scythe lands in the house of coffins. So it looks like once they get the news about Donald Trump Jr., whatever's coming in for him, the investigation here, investigating him for obstruction and lying, and something that happened in a tower, and a letter here with him. So it looks like from the previous reading that we did on Junior, it looked like him and Kushner were involved in finding the money. And from this right here, it looks like they lied to her about it, specifically this guy. There's something going on here with an affair, with affairs. So, and it's on her father's line. So perhaps the betrayal is how him and Junior were in on paying off the women for her father and keeping her in the dark about it, while also trying to secure finances and money from overseas. And they kept her out of it. But it looks like once they get that news, they start getting problems in their career, and they're found out for lying, and they just cut and run. On this line here, let me see here. There seems to be something going on here with something new or small, or that's in the early stages, that has to do with really good news, perhaps some sort of an invitation. But there's rampant criminality here, and chronic abuse, chronic stress that had to do with some sort of conversation about older children that her husband was involved in, that he snuck around in for the organization for her father, and successful ventures overseas. Maybe there's other stuff going on within the Trump organizations that Junior and Kushner were involved in that she doesn't know about, and it gets discovered, and it puts her in danger, along with, you know, all the stuff she's been doing at her job. Her line isn't good, though. It's not good at all. We're seeing an opportunity for an upgrade. So that would be like some sort of a promotion or an opportunity to upgrade their finances here. And the secret that her brother was keeping, and this could be with like a tech company. This could be a tech company, and something to do with her in the organization. And then it's like once they start investigating her for her job, it looks like she ends it, and his career ends as well. It's like they both cut and run because they've already made the money here. This is interesting, and I think we've already gone over this with her father, that he lied about, or he covered up the sex, and there's a letter of separation, or perhaps this is the impeachment, and then Jared Kushner comes in and he separates. But there's an affair going on here, cheating, and cheating in the marriage here, and a career in government. but it looks like they were able to secure money. The anchor lands in the house of fish. It looks like they're able to secure money, and it's like they're able to secure money in a way that it can be a permanent upgrade to their well-being, but then it burdens this guy, Junior. It's interesting. Let's follow her chain. We're at 42 minutes. Let's follow her chain of houses. So the woman goes to the house of garden, which is her in an organization or her in a club. The garden goes back to the bear. So this could be the Trump organization with her and her father. And the bear lands in the house of ring. So this could be her father and his agreements for success and an opportunity for a permanent upgrade or permanent promotion to secure finances for their well-being, but that burdens or it becomes very difficult for something that's foreign that has to do with a technology company. That could do with a technology company. And if it's not the voting machines, I mean, I was thinking voting machines because it nights here, the stars nights to the crossroads. This might also be a different technology company. You guys, please let me know down in the comment section down below if you have any idea what I'm talking about. I'm just interpreting. And then we have the career and government that becomes troublesome. And that's what causes the separation for her. So it's like once they start digging out or once the investigations start and they start looking into her role within the Trump organization to secure business and secure like a permanent upgrade financially and in business. Once they start getting into that, she cuts and runs. Okay, and we asked the pendulum. It said October. Donald Trump's original grand tableau showed the kids leaving in October. Let's see. Let's follow Kushner's. Well, let's look at his little box here. So there's news coming in for him about. This could be talking about inexperience or not having the maturity and the qualities that he needs for the position that he's in. Because, and I'm only saying that because the lilies is the card of maturity, wisdom, experience, seniority. It lands in the house of the child, which is inexperience, immaturity, something new, something small. So it looks like there's news coming in for him that has to do with, hey, how the hell did you get your job when you're completely unqualified? You don't have the experience and you were gifted this position. And that's when they start investigating all of the obstruction and everything that he's been involved in as well, which I'm not sure about. All I know is that they gave him the clearance when he was denied like 7 different times. We can see here that there's big trouble around his career once the investigation starts, and big trouble that leads to a very difficult choice. Okay, and then we're seeing that there's malicious gossip, or he has spoken lies about an organization that has to do with his father-in-law, with Trump, and that comes to an end here for some sort of chronic thievery, or perhaps it has to do with chronic corruption, and that comes to an end. But there's news coming in for him that there's an ending here. And his career, if we night the moon, it nights here to the coffin, his career ends because he does not have the seniority or the experience to be doing what he's doing. And then it looks like they're going to start investigating the organizations that he's in as well. Let's follow his chain. So this is the man lands in the house of fox. So that could be a man that's a con. That could be a man that is manipulative, a con artist, or a man that's being investigated. And here we can see that there has been a delay or big trouble or serious enemy that has to do with the con. And then there's like a distant, or there's some sort of like cold-hearted, because the mountain goes back to the heart. So that could be like he's just distant from his wife. And like we said here in this little box here, she's quite suspicious, and it looks like there's trouble in their marriage as well. Even though they stay together for a while here, but maybe they stayed together for the children, to make the children happy here. And perhaps they lie to each other, or he's a liar. I mean, we know he's a liar. There's no need to think about that. And then let me see here. The key is that he has the key to that. Let me see. Let me run that by myself again. So he's manipulative and cunning, and he's been sneaking around in the background doing weird stuff and trying to weasel out and stay remote. It looks like he's remote in his own affairs as well, and they stay together for the children. Even though they appear happy in public and say nice things, it's all a lie. It's a sham. And he's quite unhappy. I mean, it looks like, because the key goes back to him and it falls in her line, it looks like he's quite important to her, but he hasn't been honest with her. He has not been honest with her, and there's an affair going on here. Or wait, hold on. The key goes back to the man. The man goes to the fox. The fox goes here to the mountain, which goes back here. I'm having a difficult time figuring out if she's the one that's not being, because see, he has good cards here. She's the one that has the bad ones. So I don't know if she's sneaking around trying to have a thing on the side, but they stay together for the children. For Jared Kushner, it looks like, as we move forward in time, it looks like whatever's going on in the Trump organization with stuff that's going on overseas, or I'm not sure if these people have links to, like, the organization is a front for, let's say, who has he been sucking up to? MBS and the Saudis and the what do you call it? Israel. Is that a front to get the money? Let me see, because the ship goes here, successful government in his career, that becomes troublesome, that leads to a separation for her in the organization, her father, and his agreement for success with the opportunity here for a permanent upgrade to their livelihood and securing money for their well-being that becomes burdensome. I'm wondering if that's what they're doing too, or what he's doing as well, and then that leads to the career trouble and the ending once they figure out everything that he's been setting up overseas to secure business for himself, which we all know he's been doing that, so that's nothing new, but it does look like his career ends here and here. His line here says that he goes away. He goes somewhere foreign or somewhere far. Here it's saying that his career ends here and here. So I'm wondering if he just goes to a different country. If he goes to a different country, and that's where the separation comes in here for their marriage, because this is not a good marriage. So if this is their marriage, we would look at this right here, this box, the bouquet, the woman, the key, the lilies, the fox, the crossroads, the man, the clouds, the heart, and the garden, the, what is this, the coffin, and the ring. So on the four corners, we're seeing of this little square of 12, is this 12? No, 16. On this square of 16, it's like they're talking about being peacefully happy in public. Okay, like they appear to be peacefully happy in public. For her, it's not good. She's suspicious of him. She doesn't trust him. She wants to end it. Perhaps they just start coming out in public, and then the key goes back to him, and so it looks like it's him that... I know that there's been a lot of readers here saying that he's a cross-dresser. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. Such a pretty boy. But I'm wondering if he's also having an affair, because the key goes back to him. And here is the multiple affairs outside of the marriage. And that's what they're also keeping that secret. But it eventually comes out. This is a suspicious marriage, a false marriage, a self-serving marriage. It's a manipulative arrangement, manipulative agreement, an agreement to defraud. And then there's an agreement with somebody overseas, or someone overseas as well. So... wondering if he has a little boyfriend overseas too. And this is just show. Appear happily married in public and peaceful and happy, and you know, the power couple, but then underneath the surface it's just bad, bad, bad. Let's take a look here. We've already looked at her, we've looked at him. We can't really see much about the money because it's way up here, so we can only read this across and this down here, and I think we've already gone over that. Securing permanent businesses for his father, like a permanent upgrade in their livelihood through her father's position. Let's follow the ring around. Let's see where that gets us. So we have a successful partnership for an opportunity to upgrade permanently and secure money and businesses for their well-being, but it's proven to be burdensome, and they need to seek opportunities overseas through perhaps foreign governments or a technology company. That perhaps has a career that is, and that's what causes problems in the career and leads to the separation of her, because this organization that her father is involved with is the one that has the agreements. So let me see if I can follow that around. So we have the ring to the sun, to the clover, to the storks, to the anchor, to the fish, to the rider. Sorry, you guys, I'm writing this down. To the rider, the rider, to the tree, to the cross, to the ship, to the stars, You see the stars goes to the tower to the moon to the clouds to the crossroads to the woman, to the garden, to the bear, and that's where it ends. Okay, so let me see here. Successful partnership and an opportunity to upgrade and for a permanent upgrade and securing business. Let me see here. But then there's news coming in that their well-being is burdened, that their lifestyle is burdened, that their health is burdened. So they're seeking ventures overseas, and I don't know why I keep thinking that this is a technology company, or maybe it's just talking about a successful career in government, which is just basically a cover-up, and that's what leads to her separation because of her ties to the organization that her father is in, perhaps the Trump organization, and that's where the contracts are coming in from. And like I said, this is a fraudulent agreement with people overseas that they were using to permanently secure money. I'm wondering if this is also talking about the inauguration committee. But what's really throwing me off here is the technology company. A technology company, unless I'm interpreting this incorrectly, this is a technology company. A media company, maybe this is stupid freaking Fox News, faux news as I like to call it. And their role in gaslighting with the stars here, their role in gaslighting her involvement in that organization, in the Trump organization where the money was coming in from, but the money is coming in from overseas through the inaugural committee and through the organizations. And that showed up in Junior's reading too, that him and Kushner were involved in setting up the money to come in through the organizations. And they took the meeting at Trump Tower with what's-her-face, Veselnitskaya, to secure the funds. Man, we're at an hour. Let me see what else can I possibly pick out of this thing. And I could be here for hours, you guys, but I don't want to I don't want to be here for like 6 hours and you guys are going, stop already, we get it. Let me see. Did we do Junior yet? Let's follow Junior around real quick. Because Junior knights here to the man, so that's Junior and Kushner. Unless this is also showing up for Junior's little sidekick boyfriend, because they're having serious marriage problems. So he knights to the man, he knights to the letter, he knights to the stars, and he knights to the fox. So let's take a look at that. So we have the dog goes to the house, which goes to the letter, which goes to the scythe, which goes to the coffin, which goes to the mice, which goes to the whip. The whip goes to, where's the whip? It's down there, to the book. The book goes to, let me see, back to him. So his chain isn't long at all. Okay. So for Junior, and quite possibly Kushner's boyfriend, let's see here. Friend of the families and a report of separation. And there's a loss. And then there's a loss. An ending. So maybe that's talking about, that could be talking about the end of Junior, because I had designated this for Junior. The end of Junior's, because there's chronic corruption that he's kept secret, and it gets exposed here, and he's being investigated, even though the investigation has been delayed. But this could also be a violation, because the dog is in the house, so it's that could be him, Donald Trump Jr. in the family, and then he's receiving a dangerous notice, a dangerous message, dangerous news, a dangerous report, but then it ends. So I'm wondering, and because that could also be violation, some sort of a violation, I'm wondering if that's talking about the FEC violation, even though the bouquet doesn't land in that chain of houses. Doesn't end there. And there's chronic criminality that he's kept secret. You know what? Let's take a look at the book. Let's take a look at the book. I want to see what this little schmuck has been keeping secret. So for that, we're going to look at this little box of 9 here. Let's see. Looks like there's a new opportunity, or a small opportunity, or it's something that's in the early stages, a new opportunity for an upgrade through his father's contracts or through his father's partnerships. There's some sort of dangerous document, or a document that of a separation, of a cut, that could be talking about impeachment here. But there's also something that Junior's kept secret, and it's could be about abuse, or it could be about sex that he was keeping secret. Well, we already know that, you know, Junior was the one that was paying off women from his father's orders. And then we're seeing, I'm wondering if this is talking about a chronic illness too. That's interesting, because the book lands in the house of the dog, which is Junior. The whip lands in the house of the book, so that could be secret sex, or the sexual secrets that they were keeping quiet. The mice is up here in the house of whip, and it also knights here to the whip. I'm wondering if there's a chronic illness too, for this guy, even though the tree's kind of far, that they're well aware of, besides the sex and blah, blah, blah. Wondering if there's also an illness that they know about, that he's more aware of, that he's keeping secret. And then we're seeing a technology company or success in the government, and that letter or that document that has to do with the family, that has to do with Junior specifically. So it's looking like he's keeping the secret of chronic corruption for his father and his father's sexual affairs, but there's something weird going on here with a tech company. And that tech company is remote and overseas here, because this lands in, the ship lands in the house of stars, the stars lands in the house of tower. I'm wondering if this is talking about the troll farms here. The troll farms that they were farming out to screw up the elections here. And maybe he was the one that helped set that up through the contacts from his father. Um, huh. What the hell is that letter though? Yeah, the secret here, Knights to over here and back to Kushner. So this could be talking about he was in on it, and Kushner was in on setting up the agreements for Trump with a tech company that was foreign. So that could be the troll farms. Maybe also from the previous reading that we just did on Junior, it showed that him and Kushner took that meeting at Trump Tower to get money. And I'm wondering if they also paid for a troll farm here, here, and here, the technology company. If they paid for that, received money, and then paid. See what I'm saying? Or both. Perhaps that's the gift, and that's where this guy comes in too. Let's follow the book or the letter around. So let me see. The letter is in the house of the scythe. The scythe is in the house of the coffin. The coffin is in the house of mice. The mice is in the house of whip. The whip is in the house of book. The book is in the house of dog. The dog is in the house of house. The house is in the house of letter. Good, that's not a long chain. Okay, so let's take a look at the little box of 9 here. We can see here paper money at, there's news of paper money here with a tech company. Payment to a tech company maybe, but this is paper money. This could also be a check, but these people, I don't think they would have written a check because that would have left a record, and if there is a record, it's been destroyed, shredded perhaps, expired, corroded, eroded. So it looks more like paper money down this way. If there has been some sort of a record, perhaps an email for payment here. It looks like they've destroyed it, and this guy's kept it secret, but it comes out, so I'm not worried about it. This opportunity here for a change or an upgrade, but it looks like they tried to shred that document though, because this lands in the house of scythe as well. So I'm wondering if they, or that could also be news of a violation that comes in for Junior that's being kept secret. That could be another possibility too. So if there is a record, this is the emails for payment that have been destroyed. It looks like there's some sort of a recovery here, and whatever is sealed right now for this guy, because he's got the cross right before him, that has him guilty of setting this up, it gets revealed this way. And there's that damn tech company again. Wondering if that's also referring to the documents have already been presented to a grand jury, because the this here is an electronic message with the stars and the letter. This is an electronic message. Okay, they may have tried to destroy it, get rid of it, whatever, but it's an electronic message. Perhaps they had to reach out to the tech company. Also, this Knights, the Tower Knights over here to the garden, I'm wondering if they've presented that evidence already to the grand jury. And if there is evidence of that, guess what? It gets exposed, and the key goes back to this guy, to Kushner. Huh, interesting. Yeah, so I'm seeing that there too. It's like a lost opportunity. I mean, whatever they try to destroy, it comes out. They still have it. So perhaps this here, the document that was destroyed here, and because this lands in the house of scythe, the corruption for the sex here, if they've tried to destroy it, it looks like there may have been a dangerous notice, because this lands in the house of the scythe. The dangerous notice would be a subpoena to the tech companies to retrieve it. And perhaps that evidence has already been brought to a grand jury, and that evidence involves Kushner. Some way, somehow. Let's follow that letter around. So the letter is in the house of the scythe. The letter is in the house of the scythe. The scythe is in the house of coffin. The coffin goes back. So it looks like whatever was in this that involves Junior, it looks like with the letter and the letter in the house of scythe, and also the letter being followed here by the mice, it looks like they tried to destroy it and put an end to it. But the criminality, or this could be a team of workers. Okay, a team of workers were able to piece it back together, and they had to repeat a lot of stuff to get it back. And that's where the secret is that Junior was keeping from the message that was coming to the family, or from it getting out of the people that were involved, the conspirators. So this could be talking about the email for the cash payments to Stormy Daniels, emails for cash payments for other people. But it gets, you know, perhaps emails on how he was going to hook up the tech companies. Him and Kushner were going to hook up tech companies for hacking emails here, because if this is an email, an electronic message, remember the scythe lands, or the letter lands in the house of scythe. So that could be hacking the emails and the payments that they were making for that to the tech companies to hack it. Let me see. But coming in, we're at an hour and 14. Coming in for her, it looks like her and Kushner leave once the investigations start. It looks like he may go to a different country here with the garden and the ship. This marriage it's trouble. It's trouble. I think he's the one that's living a double life with her as the show, but it looks like he's living a double life, quite possibly with another man in a remote location somewhere overseas in a different country. He's delayed here. There's an ending for him here in a career. It looks like they both ended their careers once the investigations start ramping up. This I believe we asked the tableau, and that also showed up in the original reading for Donald Trump. So I think we've picked at this long enough. I hope I can figure out how to get this uploaded to YouTube without losing my mind. And thank you so much for being with me here today. I got some viewer requests. I got to go back through my inbox and see what you guys are requesting. And I'll do those for you. I think next time I'm going to use a different cloth, because this one's like making the cards pop up. But thank you so much for being with me here today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys on my next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.